Hello everyone, it's Mark Flopsy Shepherd once again, and welcome back to what will be my final video on Geofflems. Now, I've solved the 7 levels, which I didn't solve in my original LP, and I'm going to attach this on as a bonus video at the end of Mayhem 30. And I'm going to also tell you the order I solved the levels in. Most of it's going to be pretty obvious because I went through them in order, but there is something I need to point out with how difficult some of the levels are. So I'm going to start with planks, and I did solve this. I actually solved this within 2 minutes coming back to it. And okay. So I kept running out of skills on this one when I did this on my original LP, but what I did this time was I made sure I dug down into this little area, trapping area here, and I made sure someone dug down. But something I did differently was I just did this, and then I made the lemming climb up rather than trying to build over the top here, because that's probably where a wasted builder was. And something else I also did was when I got to the bottom was when I dug out the last bit of dirt, and that's probably where I was going wrong, because I probably tried this approach and I ran out of diggers because I didn't realise you could just do it with one digger, this bit here. And I realised this in a mayhem level, so maybe the key was doing a mayhem level and then coming back and fixing this. So something interesting there. I can't actually remember which mayhem level it was, but it was something I did like in the last 7 levels of mayhem, so it will probably be quite fresh in your mind if you've been watching the last few videos of the LP. So the next level was Mayhem 6. And I really liked this level. This level I thought had an amazing solution when I worked it out. The thing I was missing was I didn't realise, and ironically they both had the same music tracks as well. Strange that, isn't it? So yeah, I did try an approach where I was trying to trap the lemmings here, but that didn't work. I think I tried that predominantly in the video where I couldn't solve it. And I was also trying to dig down this spike, I remember, and that didn't work out too well. But then I realised that maybe the best way was to try and erase the lemmings and try and build over this gap. And then the level was just very, very trivial after that. As long as you used the right skills, that is. As long as you had the 3 builders, the miner and the digger remaining, it was easy from that point on. And I haven't actually assigned the climber yet until this stage. Had to be done really, because the only way you get this done was by digging, mining, and look, there's just enough space to do the 3 builders. So the rest of it's pretty trivial by this point. And also the climber, because the blocker was there, there's no way of danger of the climber going back and hitting the lava. Instead it'll hit the blocker and come back. I really liked that level though. I really thought this bashing and floating thing here was the eureka moment. So maybe you spotted that during my initial swoop on this level where I couldn't solve it. Just gonna hit the nuke myself. Okay, and the next level is Mayhem 16. This one I pretty much solved almost immediately. In fact, I think I solved the next few levels very quickly. Maybe not Mayhem 17 as fast. So what I did was I made 2 lemmings float to the bottom, and then here's the bit I was missing, and I actually worked this out rather quickly. When I came back to this level, I did a miner backwards, and I just let that lemming die because he's just... we could lose 5, and we actually end up losing 4 despite that. And then Something I was trying to do a blocker to turn the miner around, but then I realised these lemmings could just sit tight here and be just trapped there, and then eventually bash them out to the right, and that's actually not splat height. Now there's a couple of ways you could do this. You could build over the exit, and you just have to mine over it at the end, but I just chose to mine there and then build over it afterwards. It really doesn't matter which approach you use. It's probably better that you do the mining than the building, because that way you haven't got the crowd doing it. So you build, float, and he comes round, and this is where you mine. The layout of this level is really good. I thought to myself, this was going to be a hard level, and I am right. It was a hard level when I initially did the level, and there's me bashing the crowd out. So yeah, this was a really good level. I used every skill, so I've got no doubt in my mind that it's not a back route. And I've recently found out as well that Namida's actually maintaining this pack, but he's not responsible for back route fixing the pack. He's just more on the compatibility side of things. So he's not really going to fix the back routes for me. Well, the ones that I found. And ironically, the next level is the plateau. And so far I've been solving them in order. This one was interesting because I actually had a miner left over, so I'm thinking this might be a semi back route. So what I did here was, this is more of a crowd control thing, and I just made the second lemming a blocker because otherwise he was going to climb over the miner hole. And that's and the positioning of the blocker was actually rather crucial as well, because it determines where he falls into the crowd. And this is quite key because they'll literally be up here when he's doing the building. It was very hard to get that timing right. And this is literally the only way I could get it right as well. But luckily it was just a case of climbing and digging and just mining the rest of it out. And I got lucky that no one fell to the right as well. It wouldn't have mattered anyway, because this isn't really a timed assignment. So I had a floater and a miner left over, which led me to think that this is probably not an intended solution. This took me quite a while to work out though, but I actually found it a little bit more relaxing doing it off screen, so I was alright with it. This one wasn't too bad. I saw something as soon as I got onto this level, and I was like, "Wow! I can't believe this! I can't believe I didn't spot this." So, mine here to trap the lemmings, and I liked the way the blocker was used in this level as well. I was a massive fan of the way the blocker was used. That's assuming that. So what I've done here is I've had to make that second guy build, because it's important these guys are not together when they come to the left of the level here. When the other guy built, it ended up with them being too clumped together, because the second guy who comes up here has to mine, and if they're too clumped together, the first lemming will just fall into the miner tunnel and this won't work. So this is just that miner tunnel is to catch any lemmings that fall to the left here, which was one problem I was really. And before I go on, I dug, and on the very last pixel I made the blocker, and because I'm not allowed to blow the blocker up, I made a lemming to the left dig here, and he freed the blocker and all the rest of the lemmings, and they all managed to fall on the builder bridge and didn't splat, and that was it. The level was solved. And I didn't need the climber, and you can't use the bomber, otherwise the level's unsolvable. Okay. And next one was Mayhem 26. I actually solved. This wasn't actually the last level I solved, ironically, but boy, it was hard. It was really hard. I must have been at this for nearly 45 minutes. I'm not kidding. And the biggest problem I had with this level was I could not figure out how to get this done with 2 diggers. And I'll show you it's easier, because this is just ridiculous. Okay. For some reason it's doubled up on replays. I'll just get rid of those. That's probably because I pressed the nuke. And if you do any new assignments in a level during a replay, it automatically saves a new one. Okay, so climbing up the left here was not required in the end, and just had to do this as normal. You actually don't use the climber until very late in the level, until you get up to the top here. But this was the part that stumped me. I could not figure out how to get the lemmings up to the top of the level. But then I found out that if you do the basher in just the right place, they actually stop bashing in the middle after doing a couple of swipes. And I honestly could not understand why that happened. I mean, that was just literally like, there's only like 2 pixels of terrain there that isn't there. And this one's very precise because you've got to make it stop such that this pixel is still there, the one on the crosshair there. Otherwise the lemmings will fall through. So the climb has been assigned now when you walk to the right. And now I've done the digger and basher, as you probably saw me do on my LP attempt. Now, that was right. That was right all along. There was literally no other way. And then I dug here and bashed halfway down. And then it's important to wait for the climber to climb back up before you bash these guys out. This is something I have problems with. Sometimes I think that there's no way you can climb back up here. But what I didn't realise was you didn't have to have this bashed out yet. You could literally do this at the very last minute. Now this guy was just causing all the problems throughout this level, because everything that I tried failed because of this guy falling to the ground and splatting. And trying to reduce digger usage was very difficult as well. We were only allowed to use it here and here. I wanted to use it over here as well though, which was where I was going wrong. Now this level has actually won level of the year as well, I've discovered. And I must say, it's very deserving of the title, because it certainly was a very unique level in my opinion. And you're probably thinking, what no wait, I don't want, it was trying to load the replay then. I thought I was on the so the last level is Swiss cheese. This was actually the last level I solved in this pack. It took me forever to spot this one. I was so close to giving up on this, and then I realised you could just have a... It didn't actually matter if the digger didn't stop digging. It was just about getting in the right place. It turns out the other lemmings had to do the bashing in the end. It wasn't even the digger that became a basher, and I think that's where I was going wrong. So this guy's going to keep going to the bottom, and this guy's going to have to keep going. And there's going to be a builder up here. And the idea is we've got to get these lemmings over to the right, and you can probably see how that's done now. Given they're all going to be floaters and climbers, it doesn't really matter too much about the height of everything. So now I'm assigning all the climbers to the left side, and then assigning the climbers to the right side as well. And unbelievably, I actually found this harder than Parking Garage. And I can't believe the hardest level I thought was in... the hardest level I think in this pack is actually in the taxing rank. It's such a strange looking level as well. It's not your typical level. So anyway, that should bring me up to scratch now, and I should have Geofflems fully solved in your eyes. So... okay, that is Geofflems officially complete. So I can officially say that I've completed the pack. Couldn't say that in Mayhem 30, when I finished Mayhem 30, but now I can. So, I will see you in the next LP, whatever that happens to be. I haven't decided at this moment, so it could be either Mobilems or Introduction Pack. So thanks a lot for watching, and I shall see you in the next LP.